Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Anupam Sehra, Associate Professor of Zoology at Government College Hisar. Today, I will explain you the process of oogenesis. First of all, I would like to introduce you about the definition of oogenesis because it is a very complex process. So I have decided to divide the term into three parts. First of all, oogenesis is defined as a formation of haploid female gamete, that is ova, from the diploid mother cells oogonia of the ovary of female organism. Ova is formed from cells of germinal epithelial lining the ovary. ओवरी के जो इनर साइड पर जर्मिनल एपिथेलियम की लाइनिंग होती है वहां से ओवा डिराइव होते हैं. थर्ड पार्ट इज द प्राइमोडियल जर्म सेल्स. These primordial germ cells are the undifferentiated stem cells which are the precursors of gametes, that is sperms and oocytes. These are the primordial germ cells which migrate into the developing gonads, that is undifferentiated female gonad, during the early period of embryogenesis at about 1 month of gestation period, and they proliferate into a number of oogonia. These primordial germ cells, they are having larger germinal cells and with a bigger nucleus. Let us start with the process of oogenesis. सबसे पहले मैं आपको ये बताना चाहूँगी कि oogenesis की प्रोसेस जो है फीमेल के बर्थ से पहले ही स्टार्ट हो जाती है as compared to spermatogenesis which starts at puberty. Process of oogenesis starts at 6 to 8 weeks of fetal development. जब fetus 6 to 8 weeks का होता है तो ये oogenesis की प्रोसेस उसमें स्टार्ट हो जाती है. It is a very complex process as compared to spermatogenesis, which is very simple and smooth process. Let us now start with the period of oogenesis. जैसे कि मैंने तुम्हें पहले ही बताया है फर्स्ट स्लाइड में, प्राइमोडियल जर्म सेल्स which are the stem cells which by repeated mitosis split up into a number of oogonia. So at the time of 2 to 8 weeks of fetal development there are 60,000 oogonia in the ovary of the fetus. These oogonia, they undergo continuous mitosis process, and up to the 20 weeks of development period their number increases up to 6 to 7 million oogonia. But at the time of birth the number left only 2 million primary follicles. इसका मतलब ये है कि before birth number of oogonia, they undergo atresia. Atresia means these oogonia undergo degeneration. So at the time of birth number decreases very much. Before birth I use the term oogonia, and after birth I use the term primary follicles. Actually the primary follicles are the primary oocytes which are surrounded by the granulosa cells. Before birth the germ cells are oogonia, and after birth the germ cells are primary follicles. So at the time of birth 2 million primary follicles are there, and at the time of puberty the process of atresia continues and only 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are left at the time of puberty. At menarche, that is at the time of initiation of first menstruation cycle, out of 60,000 to 80,000 only 400 primary follicles are left. Means 400 primary follicles are capable of entering into the menstruation cycle. And at menopause also, at menopause stage 400 primary follicles are there in the ovary. But the follicles which are present at near the menopause stage, they are quite unhealthy, quite aged, and the follicles which are present at the puberty stage, at menstruation cycle stage, they are quite young and healthy. And out of 400 primary follicles, only one primary follicles is chosen or it is picked up in the menstruation cycle and it completes the menstruation cycle. So, oogenesis is a highly wasteful process. You see in this slide a number of begonia and a number of primary follicles, they get degenerated, and in the menstruation cycle only 400 are capable of entering into the menstruation cycle. Why it is discontinuous process? Because this process, it is arrested at number of stages, that is it is stopped at number of stages. So it is a highly discontinuous process as compared to spermatogenesis, which is a continuous process. Now I will like to explain the structure of the ovary. In this diagram you see a number of developing primary follicles, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle. Primary follicle contains the primary oocyte surrounded by granulosa cells. Secondary follicle also contains primary oocyte surrounded by granulosa cells. Tertiary follicle contains, or Graafian follicles contains the secondary oocyte. कहने का मतलब ये है कि सेकेंडरी oocyte सिर्फ ग्राफिकन follicles में ही होता है, बाकी सब follicles के अंदर primary oocyte ही होता है, which is surrounded by follicular cells. And in this diagram you see the ruptured follicle and the ovum released, that is the process of ovulation. You see the corpus luteum, fully formed corpus luteum, and the shrink corpus luteum, that is corpus albicans, are there. You see the ovarian tissue, that is the stroma. Let us now explain what is ovary. Ovary is a solid organ. It is covered by visceral peritoneum of flattened cells. Internally, it is lined by germinal epithelium of cuboidal cells. Within the germinal epithelium, stroma is present. Stroma, what is stroma? Let us now explain. Stroma, it is a unique type of connective tissue, and it is different from the typical connective tissue in terms of high number of cells. Stroma के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा cells का number होता है, और स्ट्रोमा में ब्लड सप्लाई भी बहुत ज़्यादा होती है. इट इज़ वेरी वेस्कुलर टिश्यू. और स्ट्रोमा को हम दो भागों में बांट सकते हैं, एक बाहर वाला पार्ट, एक अंदर वाला पार्ट. बाहर वाले पार्ट को हम ओवेरियन कॉर्टेक्स कहते हैं और अंदर वाले पार्ट को ओवेरियन मेडुला कहते हैं. ओवेरियन कॉर्टेक्स में हम डिफरेंट स्टेजेस ऑफ मैच्योरेशन ऑफ ग्राफिन फॉलिकल्स देख सकते हैं. कॉर्पस ल्यूटियम देख सकते हैं, कॉर्पस एल्बिकस देख सकते हैं. और ओवेरियन मेडुला में कनेक्टिव टिश्यू तो है ही, इसके अलावा हम ग्रोइंग ग्राफियन फॉलिकल देख सकते हैं, लिम्फेटिक वेसल, ब्लड वेसल, नर्व फाइबर्स वगैरह हम देख सकते हैं. दिस इज द क्रॉस सेक्शन ऑफ ए ओवरी. In this diagram you see a number of tissues. You see the primary, you see the central stroma, you see the peripheral stroma, you see the outer covering, blood vessels, and you see the very small vesicular follicles in their earlier stages. You see the more advanced follicles and fully advanced follicle, fully mature follicle, ruptured follicle, ovum is released. This is the stromal tissue. See at the diagram carefully and you will be very much aware about the tissue of this stroma. Let us now come to the different phases of oogenesis. There are three phases of oogenesis. First is the multiplicative phase, second is the growth phase, and third is the maturation phase. Let us explain these phases one by one. This diagram explains the process of oogenesis before birth, at puberty, and after puberty. You will see in this diagram, before birth, one oogonium is there that undergoes mitosis and it gets transformation of this oogonium into primary oocyte. Primary oocyte undergoes meiosis 1, prophase 1, but it arrests at this stage. It is not completing its prophase 1. It is arrested at leptotin stage of prophase 1 of meiosis 1. Then after birth, meiosis 1 continues till puberty. Process continues, and the process of meiosis 1 is completed 36 to 48 hours prior to ovulation. That is when the female enters into the menstruation cycle and ovulation occurs. Before ovulation, 36 to 48 hours before ovulation, the process of meiosis 1 is completed and the primary oocyte, it is converted into secondary oocyte and first polar body. And then secondary oocyte undergoes metaphase 2, meiosis 2 process. Let us now explain. I will explain this later on. These are the various steps of oogenesis. This is the multiplication phase. You will see oogonium. One oogonium is there. It undergoes repeated mitosis process. A number of additional oogonia are produced. This is the second phase, that is the growth phase. Oogonium, the size of the oogonium goes on increasing and increasing, and it is transformation of it into primary oocyte. Oogonium is a diploid structure. Primary oocyte is also a diploid structure. This is the growth phase, which is very long phase, about 12 to 13 years in case of human female. This primary oocyte, it is under the meiosis 1 stage, and this stage is also very long. When it is completed, it changes into the secondary oocyte and the first polar body, and then secondary oocyte again undergoes meiosis 2 process and mature ovum, and second polar body is formed. These are the various steps of oogenesis that occurs before birth and after birth. Multiplication phase occurs before birth. Growth phase starts after birth. Maturation phase starts after birth of a female. Let us now explain the first phase of the oogenesis, that is the multiplicative phase. जैसे कि मैंने पहले भी बताया है कि ये oogenesis का initial phase है and it starts during the fetal stage. Fetal stage में ही start हो जाता है ये. The primary germ cells or the primordial germ cells undergo mitosis to give rise to groups of diploid oogonia. Number of oogonia are being produced. To 20 weeks of gestation period, oogonia divide and redivide. After 20 weeks of gestation period, there is no further division in the oogonia. It stops dividing. Oogonia stop dividing after 20 weeks of gestation period. उसके बाद क्या होता है? Each group of oogonia is initially a cord-like structure and it is called the egg tube, which projects into the stroma, later forms a rounded mass which is called the egg nest. ओवरी का जैसे तुमने सेक्शन देखा है पीछे, उसमें at different places there are different groups of oogonia. This group is known as the egg nest. There are different egg nests are formed in the ovary. Let us now explain the growth phase. Growth phase of oogenesis is comparatively longer than the spermatogenesis, that is, it is 12 to 13 years in case of human female. ह्यूमन फीमेल के केस में प्राइमरी oocyte को फुली मैच्योर बनने में 12 से 13 साल लग जाते हैं. ग्रोथ फेज का मतलब है प्राइमरी oocyte का फुल ग्रो करना, उसमें इसे 12 to 13 ईयर्स लग जाते हैं. इसमें क्या होता है? इंक्रीज इन द साइज ऑफ द oogoनियम अबाउट 200 टाइम्स इन ह्यूमन फीमेल बाय द प्रोसेस ऑफ वाइटेलोजेनेसिस. होता क्या है कि जो oogonia के नेस्ट हैं, जो डिफरेंट प्लेसेस पर पड़े हैं ओवरी में, उनमें से एक जो प्राइमरी oocyte है, एक oogoनियम जो है, उसका साइज बड़ा हो जाता है, दैट बिकम्स द प्राइमरी oocyte, while others form a follicular epithelium around the oocyte to nourish it. बाकी उसको नॉरिश करने के लिए फोलिकुलर एपिथेलियम में बदल जाते हैं। केवल एक उगोनियम जो है एक प्राइमरी oocyte में ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन उसकी होती है। इस तरह से सेंट्रल सेल जो है प्राइमरी oocyte, उसके चारों ओर जो फोलिकुलर एपिथेलियल सेल्स है, ये जो स्ट्रक्चर बन जाता है उसे हम प्राइमरी फोलिकल कहते हैं। सो नॉट ऑल द ओगोनिया डेवलप फर्दर, सारे ओगोनिया आगे प्रोसेस ओगोजेनेसिस की प्रोसेस में एंटर नहीं करते। कुछ एक ओगोनिया जो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट प्लेसेस पर एग नेस्ट में से, हर एक एग नेस्ट में से एक एक ओगोनियम फर्दर ग्रो करता है और वो प्राइमरी oocyte में कन्वर्ट होता है और फिर वो प्राइमरी फोलिकल में कन्वर्ट होता है। दिस इज द ग्रोथ फेज। ग्रोथ फेज मीन्स consist of growth phase comprises of vitalogenesis and pre-vitalogenesis. Vitalogenesis, it is a process of synthesis and accumulation of yolk inside the oocyte. Then the question arises, what is pre-vitalogenesis, that is prior to yolk formation. Vitalogenesis से पहले oocyte के अंदर क्या क्या चेंजेस आती हैं ये हमने वन बाय वन एक्सप्लेन करना है। तो हमने एक्सप्लेन फर्स्ट फेज है ग्रोथ ऑफ न्यूक्लियर सब्सटेंसेस। oocyte के अंदर न्यूक्लियर सब्सटेंसेस में क्या चेंज आता है, कैसे वो ग्रो करते हैं, ये हमने पढ़ना है। और दूसरा पॉइंट जो है oocyte के जो साइटोप्लाज्म में क्या चेंज आता है, क्या ग्रोथ होती है, ये हमने पढ़ना है। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल I will explain the growth of the nuclear substances inside the oocyte. First of all, जो न्यूक्लियस जो है gets enlarged in size due to the increased production of nuclear sap. Nuclei might appear bloated and termed as germinal vesicles. In some organisms like Lambrish chromosomes are formed. That is, the Lambrish chromosome are the chromosomes which are having which may increase in length, several loops may transverse, and these are present in the amphibians, reptiles, and other organisms. Let us now explain about the growth of cytoplasmic substances. What are the changes that take place in mitochondria? Mitochondria में क्या चेंज होता है, उसके नंबर बहुत बढ़ जाते हैं। कुछ जगह पर माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया के क्लाउड्स बन जाते हैं, कुछ एनिमल्स के केस में जैसे कि एम्फीबिया हैं, बर्ड्स हैं। माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया का नंबर बढ़ने से ऑक्सीजन की कंजम्पशन बहुत बढ़ जाती है oocytes के अंदर। दूसरा हमने देखना है कि गोल्जी बॉडीज के अंदर क्या चेंज आता है। गोल्जी बॉडीज जो है कम्प्लीटली डिसअपियर हो जाती हैं एंड दे गेट ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इनटू कॉर्टिकल ग्रैन्यूल्स। What are the changes taking place in endoplasmic reticulum during the growth phase of this oogenesis? तो endoplasmic reticulum जो है they form stacks of double membranes whether arranged in parallel or in spiral arrangement. Membranes are perforated, mostly ribosomes are not attached to their surface. इसी तरह से we see the changes in the cortical granules. They are present on inner side of plasmalemma, spherical simple membranes. Contains acid mucopolysaccharides which synthesizes fertilization membrane during fertilization. Present in sea urchins, frog, fish, bivalve, mollusks, hamsters, rabbit, man. Let us now explain the process of phytogenesis. It is a process of yolk formation via nutrients being deposited in the oocyte or female germ involved in reproduction of lithotrophic organisms. Yolk is the stored form of food stored in egg. In amphibians and fishes, it happens in mitochondria. In some vertebrates, yolk formation takes place in liver and transported via blood and deposited at yolk platelets or yolk granules. Let us now explain about the nature of the yolk. Yolk is a heterogeneous substance. It consists of proteins, phospholipids, and fats in different combinations. Yolk may be of two types. First is the protein yolk, second is the fat yolk. Protein yolk is present in many invertebrates. and lower chordates and fat yolks are present in the eggs of reptiles and birds. Animal yolk is of three types. First type is the yolk platelets. Let us now explain what are yolk platelets. This type of yolk is present in insects and most vertebrates. Yolk is present in the form of large granules which are called yolk platelets. It contains two types of proteinaceous substances. First is phosphitine and second is lipovitin. Two molecules of phosphitine are associated with one molecule of lipovitillin. In amphibians oocyte, additional lipids are present in the form of lipochondria, that is inner core of lipids surrounded by thin protein coat. Second type of animal yolk is the granular yolk. It is present in the form of fine granules in the oocyte. It is present in lower chordates and some invertebrates like echinoderms. Third type of animal yolk is called the yolk spheres. It is a very compact mass in the center that is present in birds, reptiles and many bony fishes. Most of the yolk is liquid, but 23% is in the form of solid, that is known as the yolk spheres. What are the functions of yolk? Let us now explain the functions of yolk. Yolk is the form of storage of food. It influences the differentiation of ooplasm and cleavage. It determines the size of the egg. Influences morphogenic movements of blastomeres during gastrulation. Now explain the types of vitellogenesis. Vitellogenesis is two types, autosynthesis and heterosynthesis. What is autosynthesis? In this, vitellogenesis occurs within the oocytes. That is, within the oocytes, yolk formation is there. We see in the animals, Pyrobis, the growing oocyte has many elongated mitochondria, free ribosomes and dense annuli for the transfer of material from the nucleus to the cytoplasm. In later phase, outer egg membrane produces many microvilli for pinocytosis. The pinocytic vesicles detach from outer surface and move towards rough endoplasmic reticulum for yolk formation. Second type of vitellogenesis is the heterosynthesis. In heterosynthesis, the raw materials of yolk are formed outside the oocytes. For example, in the vertebrates and insects, yolk is synthesized in other parts of the body of the female. In insects, yolk is synthesized in the fat bodies, ovary and midgut. In the vertebrates, yolk precursor called vitellogenin is synthesized in the liver. The yolk is transported from these organs to ovarian follicles by blood. Let us now explain the third phase of oogenesis, that is the maturation phase. आफ्टर ग्रोथ फेज meiosis 1 is reassumed. जैसे कि मैंने तुम्हें पीछे भी बताया था कि जो प्राइमरी oocyte है, their division is arrested at prophase 1 of meiosis 1 at leptotin stage of meiosis 1. इसकी ग्रोथ आगे नहीं हो पाती है, उसी स्टेज पर इसकी ग्रोथ अरेस्ट हो जाती है, क्योंकि आगे उसे एनाफेज और टेलोफेज में भी जाना होता है, तो वो नहीं जाता प्राइमरी oocyte. तो जैसे ही ग्रोथ फेज ओवर होता है, द प्राइमरी oocyte एंटर्स इनटू द मैचुरेशन फेज में एंटर करता है. meiosis 1 की प्रोसेस, प्रोफेज 1 की जो meiosis है वो अगेन कंटिन्यूड हो जाती है. Nucleus of the primary oocyte in meiotic prophase 1 stage, then it completes its meiotic 1 stage. और जैसे कि मैंने तुम्हें पहले ही बताया है कि ये meiosis 1 की स्टेज कब कंप्लीट होती है? इट इज प्रायर टू 36 to 48 आवर्स प्रायर टू ओवुलेशन. ओवुलेशन होने से 36 to 48 आवर्स पहले ही meiosis 1 जो है उसका प्रोफेज 1 कंप्लीट होता है, और फिर वो एनाफेज और टेलोफेज में एंटर करके जो प्राइमरी oocyte है दैट इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू द सेकेंडरी oocyte. इसका मतलब ये है कि हमने देखा कि प्राइमरी oocyte जो बना था वो एट द टाइम ऑफ बर्थ बना था, और उसके बाद एट द टाइम ऑफ प्यूबर्टी जब मेंस्ट्रुएशन साइकिल स्टार्ट होता है, दैट प्राइमरी oocyte enters into the menstruation cycle, it completes its various follicular growth, and it is transformed into graphene follicle. तब ये जो है प्राइमरी oocyte इट इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू द सेकेंडरी oocyte. तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि जो मेयोसिस वन की प्रोसेस है वो बिफोर बर्थ स्टार्ट होकर एट प्यूबर्टी वो कंप्लीट होती है. एंड एज ए रिजल्ट ऑफ meiosis 1, a smaller polar body and a larger secondary oocyte are formed. Both are haploid in nature. Because स्मॉलर पोलर बॉडी क्यों है? क्योंकि उसमें साइटोप्लाज्म बहुत कम जाता है और सेकेंडरी oocyte में मोस्ट ऑफ द साइटोप्लाज्म एंटर करता है. अब द सेकेंडरी oocyte विच इज प्रेजेंट इन द ग्राफिन फॉलिकल, जैसे कि मैंने पहले भी तुम्हें एक्सप्लेन किया था, जो प्राइमोडियल फॉलिकल्स होते हैं विच आर फॉर्म्ड फ्रॉम द oogonia बिफोर बर्थ, दे आल्सो कंटेन्स प्राइमरी oocyte. Primordial follicles, they are transformed into primary follicles, they also contain primary oocyte. Primary follicles, they are converted into secondary follicles, they also contain the primary oocyte. And secondary follicles, they are converted into the tertiary or graphene follicles that contain the secondary oocyte. So secondary oocyte which is present in the graphene follicle undergoes the meiosis II process. Undergoes meiosis II process, and if the process is completed, meiosis II is completed only when the secondary oocyte is fertilized by a sperm, because there is no centriole of its own. Secondary oocyte, it is not having a centriole of its own. If the sperm gives its own centriole, then the metaphase 2 stage is completed. Metaphase spindle formation is there, and metaphase 2 में जिसमें secondary oocyte जो arrest रहता है, then it is completed, and उसके बाद anaphase, telophase and meiosis 2 is completed. Again I will explain you. जैसे कि मैंने पहले भी बताया है कि प्राइमरी oocyte is arrested at prophase 1 of meiosis 1 at reprotein stage, and secondary oocyte, growth of secondary oocyte is arrested at metaphase stage of meiosis 2. If the secondary oocyte is fertilized by a sperm, and that gives its centriole for the spindle formation, only then and then the meiosis 2 is completed, otherwise not. कहने का मतलब ये है कि if the women become pregnant, only then the process of oogenesis is completed. If a female never becomes pregnant in her life, the process of oogenesis is never completed in her life. It remains primary oocyte, secondary oocyte. The egg will remain in the secondary oocyte stage. It will never be converted into the functional ovum if she never becomes the pregnant. Secondary oocyte जैसे ही फर्टिलाइज होता है उसके बाद meiosis 2 जो है कंप्लीट हो जाती है. Meanwhile, first polar body may divide into two. This is the diagram which shows the process of oogenesis. This is one oogonium that is converted onto the. This is one oogonium that transformed into primary oocyte. Primary oocyte undergoes meiosis 1. As a result, secondary oocyte is formed and first polar body is formed. Secondary oocyte undergoes meiosis 2. As a result, functional ovum and second polar body is formed. And this is the mature egg cell. The process of oogenesis is completed. Let us now explain about hormonal control of oogenesis. Oogenesis is controlled by gonadotrophic hormones, that is follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. जैसे कि मैंने पहले भी बताया था, the follicle which one out of 400 follicles, out of 400 primary follicles, only one primary follicle it is capable of entering into the menstruation cycle, and it completes its growth under the influence of a follicle stimulating hormone, that is a gonadotrophic hormone. FSH controls the transformation of young primary follicle of ovary into Graafian follicle, and the follicular cells of Graafian follicle they secrete estrogen, which is important female sex hormone. Second hormone is the luteinizing hormone that regulates the ovulation from the Graafian follicle and transformation of empty Graafian follicle into the yellowish corpus luteum, that it is an important endocrine gland and helps in secretion of progesterone, which is very important pregnancy hormone. Thank you.